But yeah, most people don't own one home in California, and your landlord obviously is buying or owns two. So do it for somebody else, but you would not believe the jobs people have. Couples, married couples, both of them having good jobs, good paying jobs, and they can't afford to be homeowners anymore in California. We're lost. We're a lost state, the guinea pig state. We've gone down the tubes. All right, I'm going on to some thoughts from this last week or two. As believers in an almighty creator God, we are the ones to really enjoy, we are to be the ones who really enjoy their lives and are filled with joy. This we have to do while simultaneously hating our lives in this world, a world system run by evil men under the spell of satanic forces. Such a profoundly divergent paradigm creates an equally profound paradox, a gnarly schism that only God can help us to successfully navigate and contend with. Eventually, God always gets his way, both in our lives and on the grand planetary, civilization wide scale. He has an extra card up his sleeve for all eternity. Yeah, you want to be on the right side of history. Be on the side of the good guy, on God and man, and have the right values, the same values. What are his values? Number one is you and I. We're it. We're as good as it gets. We are his precious treasures. He loves us and wants us to be his friends, and it's not hard. It's the easiest yoke and it's the lightest load you can carry, is just to be approved from on high, and it's not hard to do. Just as it is fair to aptly point out, why buy the cow if the precious milk is free? To, by converse extension, say, why buy the bull if the milk is free? Guys, for the love of God, stop giving away your precious milk for free, and especially stop paying to give it away. Yeah, this seems to be a much bigger problem for men, hence this history of prostitution, the world's oldest profession and all that. I mean, men have been walked over and been taken advantage of for a long time. Stupid, guys. Come and get it together, man. Get a commitment. That's what you want. You want the same woman, I'm telling you. It's like a shark to blood, and you just want that one woman. Believe me, I was married, and I'd still be married to the same woman today because I was hooked on her. I knew her smell, and I wanted that smell. It turned me on, and I wanted her over and over, and it got better and better and better. For me, it did. I mean, I screwed up the marriage. She fell out of love with me, and it's not her fault. I mean, that was her prerogative. I screwed it up. I'm here to tell you. I admit, I confess. God knows, man knows, I know. And I mean, God knows I never would have done it if I thought that was the price I was going to pay for screwing up, infidelity. But I did. But you want one woman over and over and over, man. You want her at your last breath. You'd like your beloved by your side. One woman, okay, that you have given 100% of your heart, mind, spirit, and soul and body. You want to merge into one. The two become one. This is very biblical based. Okay. God gets it. Okay. He gets falling in love. And he gets being one, although you're still two. It's very cool. It's very perfect. So you have your independence as a male, female. I mean, it's just the whole thing's like magnets, the north and south pole of a magnet, or electricity with the positive and negative charge. I mean, it's incredible. It's like gravity. I mean, they haven't decided whether it's a pushing or a pulling, but I suggest it's both. So God has suspended the universe in just this perfect flux. I mean, it's incredible. But opposites attract, and the male-female thing is as natural as the day is long. It's the way God made it. God Almighty, the Creator God Almighty, is equally male, equally female. It's the way it is forever. It's going to be that way. Why do we call it capitalism when one man's so-called value translates to another man's burden? It's because evil men and their multitude of mindless, immoral minions rule over the affairs of the righteous. But thank God, this will not be the paradigm forever. The world of tomorrow is a beautiful place. You want to be there, my friends. That's it, man. And if you know somebody you think their values are screwed up, it's your obligation. It's your duty. It's not just your right. Your rights. You could exercise them or not. But remember, use it or lose it. You've got to do it or you're remiss. Then you become culpable and complacent in where they go from here. You've got an opportunity to save souls. Yes, it's about eternal salvation. Or even where we go from here. Do you want this person stuck in hell? Well, that guy had an opportunity. Why didn't he say something to me when could have? I didn't know I was going to end up here with Hitler thumping me on the head day and night, making my life miserable. To have the most evil men of all history ruling over me. Those that would rather rule in hell than serve in heaven. That's where I ended up going. It's because you didn't say something to me. Got to do something, my friends. Everybody can do something. We're very powerful, and you will be rewarded thusly, or you will be penalized thusly if you're remiss. Perhaps in order to see God's true form, that is to say the Almighty Creator God, we need to step back, way back. Then we could see that each galaxy was but a single atom on his body. I talked about that earlier. You know, it's fun to imagine stuff. We've got this great God-given imagination that's virtually unlimited. So it's just fun to ponder whatever you darn well want to. It's okay. Remember who gave you your ability to think, your ability to imagine. From vast, even overwhelming empirical evidence, we can safely deduce that humans have two sides. One which wishes to soar with the eagles, that's our godly spiritual instinct, and another nature which seeks to bring us down to the gutter, our worldly, carnal instincts. The question is, what on God's green earth would ever drive humans to willfully make themselves miserable? In my mind, there can be no doubt these are satanic, worldly, evil forces which drive our lower selves. Only God can deliver us from such a wanton destroyer of souls. The father of lies, that satanic spirit that's after all of us. Hates us all because we are made in the image and likeness of God, and he's made in the image and likeness of a serpent, an ugly ass snake. If the spirit of truth within us, provided we have invited it in, tells us and counsels us to do X, and our worldly nature tells us to do Y, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to deduce and state unequivocally that Houston, we have a problem. Yeah, I'm alluding to that schism that we all deal with. We've got a war being waged right in our own essence, in our own members. The flesh wants one thing and the spirit wants another. And we can all be very grateful that God gets it. He knows. He understands what we're up against. He understands very well the trials and tribulations we all face just being human beings. It's tough. In some ways, I may still be an a-hole, but I'm working on it. However, I'm not that kind of an a-hole, the kind of a-hole evil men project upon the righteous men. And you know, you can use this comparison in a lot of ways. People project a lot of stuff, right? They say, oh, well, you know, this and that. It's just like this departure I talk about between universal prosperity and just the way it is. You know, people accepting the cost of living as, well, duh, of course. You don't think about ever getting away from a cost of living. Well, God is determined to get us away from a cost of living. So it's not so far-fetched, but people project that. You see, they think you're stupid. They project I'm an idiot. I'm some radical, harebrained, wild-eyed lunatic to even be thinking this idealistic, egalitarian stuff and preaching and teaching it. You know, I mean, I should just suck it up like everybody else and just go by the definition, the secular, worldly definition of success. And you know, what's going to make me happy is making a lot of money. And that's where you'll find your freedom, financial freedom. That's where you'll find your security, your financial security. Is money. Money's the answer. Satan's ambrosia. They don't know that. They're oblivious. See, those are the people you got to talk to and wake up about wrong values, being off track, off course, being on the highway to hell, being stuck on that ship of fools like we all are. The difference is the righteous have already jumped off spiritually in their minds and hearts. They got to still feed the beast some modicum of food because they got to pay a cost of living, a cost of existence. We all have to use money, right? We're stuck in this westernized world. We're not living in some rainforest in the Amazon, right? But you see, we all have power to talk to people and change their minds about what they're thinking. And we all know. I mean, we don't have to wonder what people project. Oh, he lives like, well, oh my God, he's poor. Oh, he's, So the rumor goes around and everybody projects. And oh, well, we have a consensus. We the insiders think this about you, that you're pathetic, you're pitiable. His ex-wife, oh, yeah, right, like he could forgive her, There's no way. She's been remarried and she's had sex with strippers and well-hung guys. And oh, how could he ever? He could never. He says he could forgive her and take her back, but we all know he's not man enough. That's just folly to think fanciful. So he just wants to get her back to make her life miserable, right? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to see what people project and how they think. It's just, well, that's the norm. That's the given. It's just like when I was fighting for custody of my daughters. I mean, the feeling I got, I was projecting. I mean, the county, the people investigating it, they say, hey, what's this guy? He's likely, just like homicide detectives. They say, oh, it's usually the spouse that did it, right? Oh, my wife's dead. My husband's dead. I don't know what happened. Somebody broke in. Whatever. They got an excuse. But, they think this is some disgruntled ex-husband and he just wants custody to get back at her. He doesn't really want the kids. Maybe he just doesn't want to pay child support or something. But you see, it wasn't the case at all in my situation. But yet I had to do a lot of convincing to get over the projection I was facing, the obstacles that this puts on us. So there's just, one incident after another throughout our day that this is affecting the way people think about you, you see. And it could be completely askew. It's just like people look. The guy says feels spoiled and that, that he's got too much and he feels guilty and compunction about all that he has, and this is how he's living. The guy's crazy. On a scale, if you compare him to other Americans, I mean, he's dirt poor, and yet he says he's rich and he feels spoiled. I mean, there's something wrong with him. This is how he lives. These are his finances. Look at what he owns. Look at what he doesn't own. He's poor. You understand? He's pathetic. Yet, I mean, it's all relative. In my mind, I mean, which I share with God, He knows. I go to bed at night and I'm praying for the people living and dying out in the cold, and I feel guilt. I feel compunction, and I let God in. I say, this is my heart and mind, God. And God said, well, then why are you spending money frivolously when you could be giving to the poor if you're so rich? And I'm thinking, yes, every one of us should feel that compunction of spending a nickel frivolously. That nickel might just be that grain of rice that saved a life. I mean, I need it to be better. I wish that everybody on earth had it a little bit better than me, financially speaking. That's when I could enjoy having a little more. Until that happens, I'm going to feel compunction about the degree of prosperity, my sense of security, my sense of freedom that I currently enjoy. That's who I choose to be. You choose to be who you want to be. That's who I like. That's who I'm quite capable of living with and looking in the mirror, sleeping at night with. We got to think about it because, we're in this thing together. We're on this ship of fools together. And the worse it is for me, the worse it is for you. The better it is for me, the better it is for you. And we can all look at each other. I mean, the whole planet is like our neighborhood. We're all living here together. And we can look at everybody and say the same thing. We should be living as a family. This is logical to say this is what will please God. And if we please God, we'll find maximum happiness.